لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله لا إله إلا الله.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Shukran for watching, and this is my introductory lesson for those who have bought a kit from me, the kit specifically with this book, and it comes with some ink, 2 columns, not the knives. The knives you'll have to get a knife to maintain on your own. I'll show you all that in a minute, but what the purpose of this video is to show you how to use this kit and to make maximum take maximum benefit from the kit and from the tools that's provided in the kit. Okay, so first of all, if you have signed up for the course, then I give you loose sheets of blank paper. This is specifically gloss paper. As you can see, it's shiny. It's coated paper that you'll be able to use for practicing Arabic calligraphy. And the book, if you have purchased the book or the kit, and you're not doing a course, this is also benefit you, because I'm going to show you how to actually use this book. And you'll see the book is comprised of 50 pages of practice sheets with guides to write the alphabet, joint letters, words, and sentences. Right, so it looks like this. This is a lot of my scribbles here. So I'm gonna show you. Maybe let's go to a clean page. Okay, this is like a clean page where you will see just the grayed out writing, and that's for you basically to go in and take your ink, dip your pen in the ink, and then make the marks as shown here. On the first page, there's 2 pages of each practice sheet, right? And you can see at the back of each gridded printed page, there is there's just a blank space for you to use. So it's also coated. It's also gloss paper, smooth paper that you'll be able to use for practice. So if you want to write on both sides, that's not a problem. Okay. So here you can see how I made some scribbles and a mess over there. But I just wanted to show you that this is how this is used. So first, let's just go to the ink. Okay. So because you're going to need the ink, and then you're going to need to test out the ink. So your ink, if I open this ink or this jar, that's already it's already got some ink inside, and you can see it's the same sponge that's inside here. Now preferably you can use something natural, like we use a silk lika. It's called a lika in Persian, but you don't necessarily need that. If you don't have that, you can just use a regular sponge, okay, as long as it's clean. And this is what I've been using for many years, and I find it quite practical. So don't shake the bottle too much, but just shake it a little bit, and then we're going to open it up. And I would suggest you have some tissue or something close by. Okay. Now, when you pour your ink into the jar, notice how I'm holding the ink bottle quite close to the thing. Okay, and I'm just going to squirt 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm just going to do it 4 times, and then just let me close this bottle quickly. Okay, so let's test out this ink that we just prepared now, right? And as you can see, we still have like a lot of ink left. It's going to last us quite a bit of time. So you dip into your ink into the sponge really. And because I'm right-handed, I'm going to hold my qalam in my right hand, and notice how I'm holding it like this. And this part is facing down to the paper. And I'm just going to dip it in and then just try to make some marks, right? So the first mark that I'm going to make is a nuqta, and you just place your qalam or your tip of your pen, place it in a 45-degree angle, and then you drag it in the opposite direction until you make a point like that. So this we call a nuqta. So it's preferable to try to know if your ink is prepared well. Let's make 5. This is a big pen, so it's going to take quite a bit of ink. Can you see it drying out the... So I would say for this large pen, for me to write at least 3 or 4 dots, it's fine. If you're going to be making longer strokes and if you're going to continuously use a big qalam, then I would say maybe add a little bit more ink. But you will see now, if I use this smaller qalam, right, this is a smaller nib, if I use this one and I just dip into it like that, can you see the ink is not too much? And I try to make my 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So the first time you do this, you don't need to be super accurate. It's just for you to test the ink. You can also make downward strokes. So when we make a downward stroke usually in calligraphy, in Arabic calligraphy, we're not going to use a 45-degree angle. For most scripts, you're going to use something more steeper than this, meaning something more... If this is completely upright, I'm talking about the angle of the pen, and this is 45, then we're going to use something in between. Okay, so you can generally use something in between completely upright and 45, right? So if you can place your qalam here on that line and then just go straight down, right? Just go straight down. And this is not the lesson in Arabic calligraphy, but it's just to give you an understanding of what you're going to be doing, right? So once you get the hang of that, you can start then practicing whatever script it is that you are studying or practicing, right? So in the Naskh script, for example, you're going to be using this angle and you're going to be changing the angle quite a lot. So that means when I reach past the halfway mark of this 5 nuqta height alif, I'm going to start twisting my pen so that it's more towards the upright angle like this here, but not completely upright, but just somewhere in between that mark and this mark here. Okay, so here we started here and we ended off sort of like in between. Can you see the two angles, the ending angle and the beginning angle? Okay, so this is how we're going to start checking our tools, and then you can practice making downward strokes. Like I said, make a downward stroke, and then if we make a horizontal stroke, so vertical and horizontal. So if you hold your qalam in the same angle that I showed here and you go down, when you go down, when you make a vertical stroke, it's going to be thin. When you make a horizontal stroke, it's going to be thick, right? And when I hold my qalam in this angle and I go up like this, it's going to be thin. Can you see the thinnest angle? And then when I go to the opposite diagonal direction, it's going to be thick again. So we have like 2 thin marks and 2 thick marks. So these are generally in between this range over here. You're going, that's what you're going to be using in Arabic calligraphy. And you can also make a circle. You can decide if you want to draw a circle with a compass or something that is very round, and you hold your column again in that angle, and then as you come down, you don't change the angle. Don't change the angle of your pen. Just hold it, lock your angle of your pen in that, and just go sort of like around the edges. Don't go on the inside edge. Stay on the outside edge of the circle. Okay, and you can also play around with your nuqtas. For example, you're going to put some nuqta in between here, and a nuqta in between there, and a nuqta in between there. Oops, I went slightly over the aim is to kind of like maintain a consistency in the nuqtas that you're making. You see, I made one big nuqta by making multiple small nuqtas. So play around with it, and maybe you can do something like this. Right? These are all just things that you can use just to warm up or to test your column, right? So you can make downward strokes, you can make horizontal strokes, and you can also make this curved stroke as I showed you with the but we're just using like maybe the quarter of this from here to here till it gets thin. That's what you're doing, right? You're just going around there. See, if I put my pen inside here and I do that, you can see how it gets. Maybe that would be like a letter noon, for example, right? A noon, you would write something like this. Okay, so it is an ugly noon. But you can see the point I'm making here is that you're going up in that direction, and that's the same direction of your angle of your column. Okay, I hope this helps. And one more thing is that every day you're using this column, you're using it to practice. And when you would want to use it on a daily basis, you need to make sure that you clean and maintain your column. So how do you clean and maintain it? This is where a knife comes in. So yeah, you can dry it like this, but because this ink and many of the inks now is acrylic inks, you will take a knife like this, right? You take a knife and you basically just scratch off the old ink. And watch here, you can see the old ink coming off, and you can go like this to this on the side or on the shoulder of the pen, right? Now, when you reach the top edge, which is the real part that you're going to be writing with, that part is you need to take a fine grit sandpaper, and you can see this is maybe a 600. You check for a very fine one, and all you need to do is to just gently go back and forth on the sandpaper and maintain keep the column flush. The nib must be flush on the sandpaper, and then you can make like a number 8 sign, just gently. You don't need to sand the whole thing away. The aim is to take off all the excess ink, and that will reveal the column's flaws, right? Okay, can you see how crisp and clear this column is writing now? Okay, so with that out of the way, and then I'll show you the book, right? So with the book, you will have to use, or at least if you want to write the lettering inside the book. Okay, so now we have the ink, and I'm going to dip my pen. I don't know if this pen is clean or not, but let's test it out, right? And I'm going to start writing over here. So the guide is just for you to move your pen over. It's to move your pen over and then to see if you can do it on your own, right? So notice the squares here, the grid is actually for the size of your nuqta, right? So you can see like one nuqta can basically fit inside this square, right? So you have the nuqtas, like over here you can see, and then take note of the size and the proportion, okay? So for example, I want to write this gym, I want to write it again. Maybe I'll just write it over here. Notice from here to here, how many squares do you see this, the horizontal part taking up? You'll see it's like 1, 2, 3 at least, and then a half of the edge here and a half of the edge over there. That means it's 4 altogether. So if I say 1, 2, 3, 4, this is the size of my my gym, my head of my gym, right? You can see this is exactly the same size. And then look at the inside here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's taking up, there's 5 nuqtas in the empty space, right? And also look at the split here. It's splitting in the half of the head. Okay, so let's go down like that, right? And let's continue. Okay, so I just wanted to show you how easy it is to use this book and easy it is to get started with calligraphy. Notice also that this alif in this is the Naskh script. This alif is about 5 nuqtas. And if 5 is fitting inside here, what does it tell you? It tells you that the size of the alif has to actually fit inside this gym. Okay? Sorry, I went a bit skew there. But you get the point. Okay, so this is for you to practice, keep practicing. And if you want to play around, you can even use your bigger column. And if you can't use the small one, immediately start with the bigger one, right? Start with the bigger one, and the big one is going to help you get started much quicker, because you can see your marks much clearer, and the movement is not so refined, because your hand needs to get used to the fine. You need to fine tune your motor skills, right? Okay, I hope that this video sums it up for at least any beginner. And inshallah, I hope to see you in the class if you have joined the class. If not, keep in touch with me and show me your work, and show me if you have actually completed all the exercises in this book. There's so much in this book, but keep me posted on that.